This is Mr. K's, and this is 27.2b. 27.2b. We're looking at a case of imperialism in Nigeria. We use the example of Nigeria for our case study. And we see that European countries, as they come into Africa, controlled Africa in different ways. Some let local rulers rule. Others said, no, we want our own white folks ruling. And so it was either direct or indirect rule. We went over paternalism and assimilation. But do you think Africans are going to stand there and not be able to resist? Well, some of them do and some of them don't. We're looking at that today in 27.2b. There was resistance. An example would be Algeria, northwest corner of Africa, along the Sahara Desert. Algeria fights the French for 16 years. They fight a war with the French for 16 years. In East Africa, around Tanzania, East Africa rebels against Germany. East Africa rebels against Germany. An example would be the Maji-Maji Rebellion in 1905. The Maji-Maji Rebellion. 75,000 rebels are killed. 75,000 rebels are killed. The rebels believed in magic. And they believed that by sprinkling water on themselves, that German machine gun bullets would turn to water. Well, they found that that didn't work, because 75,000 of them get killed by German troops. Exception to the rule is an Ethiopian ruler by the name of Menelik II. Menelik II. Now, he was able to keep independence. How does he do this? He plays the Italians, French, and British against each other to stay free. He plays the Italians, the French, and the British against each other to stay free. His land was in danger of being gobbled up, but he creates Ethiopia as a buffer zone to keep the Italians, British, and French at bay. And in doing so, he builds a modern arsenal, A-R-S-E-N-A-L, to defeat Italy. He builds a modern arsenal to defeat Italy at the Battle of Adowa, A-D-O-W-A, the Battle of Adowa in 1896. So it's an African land able to kick out the Europeans and stay free. It's really one of two lands that stayed free of European control. So what's the takeaway here of colonial rule? Well, there's some good things and bad things. Let's look at the bad things first. Because Europeans came in, the natives are going to lose their land. They're going to lose the control of their land, disease, and famine from cash crops. Natives lose control of their land, disease, famine from cash crops. I mean, you can't eat cotton, and if they demand you grow cotton instead of food, you're going to starve. There's a breakdown of traditional culture, and then there's artificial boundaries. Sometimes tribes were broken up. One tribe now lives in a British land, another tribe lives in a French land. One is German, one is French. Even worse, you might now be in a land with traditional enemies, and now you're countrymen. That's not going to work. The positive effects are local warfare was reduced. You have sanitation, education, rail lines, dams, telephone and telegraph lines. So, local warfare is reduced, sanitation, education, rail lines, dams, and telephone and telegraph lines were created. Between the negative and positive effects, do you think the natives would have continued to welcome the Europeans there? Probably not. Well, that's for another day. This is Mr. K's with 27.2b.